Hi everyone, it's Dorcas and welcome back to my channel. So a month ago, I reached a fun milestone on this channel in that I reached 2,000 subscribers, and I'm so thankful for you all who have liked, commented, or subscribed to my videos over this past year, truly. So I had asked for people to send over some questions for a little Q&A, and in addition to this little reintroduction of sorts to all of you new subscribers, I am also doing a little giveaway. So stay tuned till the end of the video to find out more about what I'm going to be sending one lucky winner. So to start, I just wanted to introduce myself really quickly. I am Dorcas, obviously, and I have been doing these YouTube videos since 2019 or so, end of 2018, early 2019. And that came about because I had been getting into the bullet journaling world. I had just gotten my first allergy. I was watching a lot of Amanda Rach Lee videos. On Instagram, I was following Sarika Studio, and I just felt that I've been enjoying consuming all of these videos, and I wanted a way to share what I had been learning and creating with you all. So if you scroll back to the beginnings of my channel, you'll see that I have flip throughs. I used to have a monthly plan with me. I don't remember if I used to call it that. I think so. So I used to plan out the month and or film it for YouTube and had a lot of fun doing that. It was such a creative uh, form of expression for me to just sit down and paint and plan out my pages for the month. And I used to do that in an Archer and Olive journal. So I'll definitely link to the playlist of all of those bullet journaling videos for you all. And honestly, I did that for about a year and change. And then I ended up having to move out of the space that I was in. And then the pandemic hit, so there was very little to plan for. And I kind of shelved it. I kind of shelved the YouTube. I shelved most of social media actually. And I didn't return to YouTube until last summer in 2025 when I was finally going to these pen shows, I was going to stationery events, and I was just kind of getting more involved in this community. And again, I was consuming a lot of YouTube videos. And oftentimes, what happens is when I am consuming a lot of this creative work that others are putting out, I'm like, well, why aren't I contributing to this conversation other than just being a consumer? So I was going to these events and I wanted to take you all along. I was just seeing so much like fun stuff. And so the little content creator in me wanted to get back into it, and I have been really enjoying it. Probably more so this time around than previously because there's so much more engagement. I'm commenting on other people's videos, you all are commenting on mine, I'm meeting people in person, whereas before it was very much one-sided. Like I would put out these videos and I know my friends and family would watch it, but now it seems that there's so many others that are out there, and it's so great to connect both offline and online. So I'm definitely having way more fun with it this time around. So that's kind of how I came into YouTube world. I feel like I'm still very early on in this little trajectory, even though it's been what 6 years since I put out my first video, but because there was a 5-year gap, I feel like I'm only on my second year, and I only have like 80 videos maybe, uh, and I'm so thrilled that I am at 2,000 subscribers. So that is a little bit about my YouTube journey. So let's get into the questions that you all wanted me to answer. So one of the questions that was brought up, and I've already answered it, but I still wanted to give a shout out. So Jazz from Jazz Journal Journey, she is also the creator of the Cozy Travelers group. She asked, what was your initial inspo for starting my channel? So like I mentioned, I really got into it because of the whole bullet journaling world, and that was my form of creativity. I also did a lot of watercoloring, urban sketching, just kind of paint with me videos of me just being in my zone, being in my element, and just showing all my progress or process. But it was primarily a planner. I've always been a planner, a journaler, and so it's just the way that I have planned and journaled has like transformed over time, but it's still at the heart of it. It's just me finding ways to be creative and productive at the same time. The next question is from Featherbound Studios, and she asked, if I were to only buy one brand of fountain pen, which would it be and why? And that's a really hard question because I have been enjoying several brands that I have pretty much stuck to, and I'm looking at them right now because I'm about to do a currently ink for April. Um, which one would it be? I mean, I love Twisby. Twisby is such like a reliable pen, and it's just like it's classy, it's simple, the colors are beautiful, there's so many colors to choose from. I have had one Twisby that's been inked for like half a year and it still works perfectly fine. That said, I don't typically journal with Twisbies. I and when I journal, I like to write in cursive, and I find that I can't really do that with a Twisby. I prefer to write in print with a Twisby, but it's still such a good pen that I'll probably have to pick two. So one would be a Twisby, and I prefer the Twisby Fine, although I've been using the extra fine quite a lot. And just so those who don't know what a Twisby look like, it looks like this. So this is the espresso. And I will also have to say that the Sailor Pro Gear, the Sailor Pro Gear over the Sailor Pro Gear Slim might be my favorite pen to journal with because I can write in cursive, and that one is in a medium. So for example, this is the Sailor Pro Gear Slim, and this is the Achimonjia pen, and it is in a medium nib, and I just find that it's just the right uh, it's smooth enough, but it's not slippery. It feels really good in hand. I find that I think maybe the Twisby is just a little too long for it to be comfortable in my hand, though let me see, because watch it be the same length. So yeah, so you can see the Sailor Pro Gear is just a little shorter and it's just a little chunkier. So I don't have to grip so tightly. Yeah, so I think if I had to choose one to journal with for the rest of time, it would currently be a Sailor Pro Gear with a medium nib. And I mean, and if we have to choose a color, this is the one that I have had consistently inked since I got it last summer. So probably this one, but I don't know. I feel like if I leave this out for half the year, it'll probably dry out on me. Whereas the Twisby, you know, it holds so much more ink um, than this one. So I don't know. It'd have to be between these two. Yeah. And the next question is related to that one. So it's asking which is my favorite pen and ink combination. And this was submitted by Crucian Scribe and Pens Platts. So both of them asked which was my favorite pen and ink combination, and it'll have to be my Sailor Pro Gear, the Achimonjia Ginsen Snow Gray, and it has Ginsen Snow Gray ink in it, also from Achimonjia. And I will find you a swatch because it's just it's such a pretty color. Let me see. So it's kind of like a blue gray, so a very muted blue. Blue is my favorite color, but I find that I have a hard time choosing a blue ink that doesn't make me feel like it's a big pen or that it's like school. So I tend to like more muted colors just throughout all of the colors that I choose. Here's the swatch from March. So it would be this one down here. And I will, when we do the top down for the giveaway, I will show you a better look at that. But favorite pen and ink combination, this one, if I flip through my journal, is just pages and pages of this blue ink. So this is going to be my go-to. Now, Studio Aquamarina has asked me, what are the funniest reactions or comments that I have received from non-fountain pen folk when they see me using a fountain pen? I'm trying to think because most of the people that have seen me use a fountain pen, they already know that I'm such like a station nerd. And it's, again, it's so soft. So it's not really a surprise. They're more curious. They want to see what it's like or they want to write with it. I think probably like the funniest things truly is just my partner who lives with me, seeing how deep of a rabbit hole I have fallen into, because he knew I was into stationery, but up until he lived with me, he didn't really know how bad it was. And it's not really bad, but he didn't really see how intense it was. And so, from time to time, he'll just make comments about like, that he wants to law me or creating crazy little like jingles for my fountain pen hobby. But overall, it's really positive, and I I just whatever. No regrets. No regrets. No shame. I just most people are just curious about what it's like. They will like lose their mind when they hear how much these pens actually cost. But for the most part, we're all adults and we make choices that suit us. So I'm going to have to say my partner and his crazy little jingles for Pen Friends Live. Now, my friend Jennifer Olin submitted a question asking, what kind of art do I do daily? And we used to have art dates on the regular. And so it's no surprise that she's asking me about that side of my creativity. And to be frank, there is no art that I'm doing daily at the moment. I have these like spurts of being really into like gouache or sketching or watercoloring flowers. And I don't know if you understand, but it's just kind of like it comes in waves. Sometimes I'm really into something and I'm totally motivated to wake up early and do these bits of creative mornings before clocking into work. But oftentimes I wake up tired and I just want to doom scroll, and then it's work, and then 7 hours later, I'm done with work and completely exhausted. And I I wish I could say that I had a daily practice for making art, because every time I do it, I'm just like, why don't I do this all the time? I feel so much better. It's great for my mental health. I just feel at peace. And then life takes over and I completely forget about that side of myself. So at the moment, I am not doing any creative activity every single day outside of maintaining my planner, journaling, things of that nature. And I'm actually staring at this book on my bookcase that says 365 Days of Creativity, which my sister gifted me. But if I could, I would want to watercolor every morning, and just even if it's just playing with the paints, even if it's just, swatching out colors on paper, that would make me happy. So that's what I'm trying to get back to. And speaking of my sister, shout out to her. I have a younger sister and a younger brother. and she sent me 3 questions, which I will promptly ignore. But they were, what is your favorite sister activity? Who is your favorite sister, and why is it me? And what did I miss most about her when I went off to college? So thanks for submitting those questions, but I'm moving on. And finally, Julia from Julia Here, who absolutely love her videos and definitely give her a follow if you don't already. She asked, what do I wish I did more of on my YouTube channel? And I've left this for last because the giveaway will be kind of tied to that. So something that I wish I did more of on my channel is show more of like the creative process, like how do I use these materials that I acquire? I mean, I feel like there's so much that I have learned and am curious about, and it would be fun to kind of give you a peek into that side of myself. Again, I have not been as, not diligent, but I haven't been as consistent with painting and sketching. So I find that in wanting to share that part of me, it'll kind of encourage me and push me to want to do those things. I used to share a lot on Instagram, and again, I kind of really took a step back for several years because social media is not always super healthy for your mental health. So I used to just post all the time, all of the things that I was creating and drawing and painting and making. And even though that shouldn't be the only reason why we're creating, to share and be validated, it did provide um, a reason to continue creating. So I don't know, it's all very cyclical, but I want to get back into that. I want to share. I want to keep learning, which I have been, but I just keep letting other things take priority in what I am sharing here. So I definitely want to continue taking you on these events. I want to show you around New York City and wherever else I travel. I want to continue talking about fountain pens and that whole journey of me learning about that whole world. I want to continue sharing my favorite stationery. That won't ever go away. But I do want to be more mindful of, okay, well, what am I actually teaching you all? What am I sharing? How can you implement this into your own life? Because it's great to see videos of places that you might not be able to access, but I also want to allow you to implement some of these things into your own life. So just thinking of, you know, my own creative journey, your creative journey, and how maybe there can be some overlap in that. So that said, I want to show you what I am going to be giving away, and how you enter will also be helping me and this channel. So I'm going to flip this camera so I can show you some of the things that I've been collecting. And the reason why it took me a little bit to get this video just organized is because I've been collecting some things along the way these past few weeks. And so now I'm excited to show you what you might win. All right, so before we begin, let me just show you what the Achimonjia Ginzen Snow Gray looks like. So it is this blue here at the bottom, just this nice muted blue-gray. Yeah, I just wanted you to see that in better lighting and a better vantage point. So that is my favorite pen and ink combination. Now for the giveaway. So for my 2K giveaway, I am giving these little items. Let's put that away so no one gets confused. So I have been collecting this over the last few weeks, and let's go through these. So first we have some washi tapes. This is from A Thousand Skies, with these cute little doggies. I'm not gonna unfurl it, but It's called Catching Starlight. And I got this one at the Chicago Pen Show. Not the Chicago Pen Show, Chicago Stationery Fest. These are two from Planner Monkey Co. One is like dainty florals, the other one is more of a grid. So they didn't come as a set, but they are really good together. So those are the washies. I also have two new Palomino Blackwing pencils. One is the original, the black one, and then there's the Blackwing Pearl. And I kind of use these for sketching. One is more of a softer lead, which I want to say is the pearl, and then this one is the harder lead. So you know, you can use them for different kinds of sketching and writing, but you get two of those. Then here we have an assortment of stickers and cards. So first we have the Stationery Fest, Chicago Stationery Fest sticker sheet from Quotations. She was very kind to gift me a second one, so I immediately put this aside for the intentions of this giveaway. And in here, we'll go through the cards first. So we have some postcards from Hubman and Chub Girl. So they're very cute. We have some greeting cards from Penelope's Press. One says cheers, and they're both blank. Cheers. And then this really festive chandelier. Very cute. And this one is more of like a note card, but they both come with their envelopes. We have some stickers. So we've got this one with boba tea. This one's from my favorite boba, not my favorite, but it's the one that I frequent the most because it's just a few blocks away from me. But they have stickers, so I always grab one whenever I pass by. This sticker, I think I got this from Daiso? No. From Miniso? No. I'll have to check where I got this. This was at the San Francisco Pen Show. But it was very cute. Mido. Got that from Mido. Coffee Monsters Co. stickers. So these are two of my favorites, and I know because I have so many of them. Creativity Juice, Cuteness Nutrition Facts, and then I was lucky to be able to redeem a bunch of bean samplers. If you know, you know. So just in case someone didn't get to redeem theirs, I have quite a few, but I am sending a complete set of the last 4 that she's released. The Sarika Studio vinyl sticker of paper and pencil. Again, I got that at the Chicago Stationery Fest. This was also from the Chicago Stationery Fest at the LCN table. I know I'm not going to use these, so maybe someone will be able to use these kind of bits of ephemera. There's kind of photo paper, just different things that you can add to your journal or scrapbook. This is what the back looks like, but I'm just going to give this whole set away. Hopefully it'll end up in a good home. And that'll all be in this Coffee Monsters Co. subscription envelope. So that'll be all tucked away in there. I also went to Yoseka Stationery. I went last weekend because I wanted to get a fountain pen for this giveaway. Now, this is a great entry-level fountain pen. That said, I love Pilot Kakunos. I'm about to ink up two more for the month of April because they're very reliable, so easy to use and clean. The whole thing comes apart, so you don't have to worry about using like your crazy inks on there because the whole thing can be separated, disassembled, and washed. So I have been really loving the M nibs on my Kakuno. So I have the new Madarome series. This is the white, like a milky white color, which is very pretty. The one I have, which is right here, this is the one that I had bought for myself last year, late last year. This is in the light, like milky pink color, but I wanted to keep this kind of semi gender neutral, so I went with the milky white instead. I also have a clear one, which is great because you can put any kind of color in it, but this one, is the latest in their series, and outside of the panda one is also very very cute. But I went with this one, and it comes with a cartridge, an ink cartridge of black Pilot ink. Let me show you what that looks like. So it'll have a little ink cartridge, and if you don't have any fountain pen inks yourself, you can just pop this in and you're good to go. But if you do have other fountain pen inks that you would rather use in this pen, and you don't have other Pilot cartridges or converter, I mean, the converters are trash. So I just end up using an ink cartridge, and then once it's empty, I will just refill it with the ink that I want with a blunt syringe. So something like this. So I'll just kind of suck up some of that ink and then refill the cartridge with the ink that I actually do want to use. I had a bunch of these, and I ended up just kind of tossing the ink and refilling it with the color that I wanted. But this little one, this little pack already has a cartridge in case you want to either use it or reuse it. And finally, at Yoseka, I ended up getting this clip, this Unkan clip. This is from the Sun Star, I think it was Sunstar uh, event that they had, I think a month or so ago. I did not go to the event, but they did have the clips. I ended up getting a larger one for myself, and this would be great for a smaller notebook or a passport. It is pink, so hopefully that's fine. But I thought this would look really well with the Pilot Kakuno and then the stickers. So yeah, so this would be the giveaway. Now, how do you enter? So this giveaway is open internationally, worldwide, because if I have viewers somewhere in some other country, I want them to also be celebrated. So the way you enter is you must be a subscriber, so please subscribe to this channel. You must also like this video. And then in the comments below, I want you to let me know what kind of videos would you like to see on this channel? What kinds of topics do you want me to cover? Is there any kind of material that you'd like to see me use or review? Is there a shop that's close to me that I can visit and take you on a tour of? Are there any interviews or people that you want me to have a conversation with? So any ideas are absolutely welcome, and I definitely consider them all. Again, I want to continue creating content and videos that you all enjoy and are excited about. And even outside of this giveaway, I will definitely, I'm open ears. You can hit me up in a comment. You can find me at Dorcas Ramos at on Instagram. I'm always kind of checking my DMs there and responding to comments both in my videos and on Instagram. So again, this giveaway is open to everyone, and so you have to subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment telling me what you would like to see more of on this channel. Or maybe there's something that I've already been doing. You're like, oh, you're so amazing. Just keep doing that. So yeah, I'm going to select a random winner, next week, Sunday. So this will be open for a week, and then I will update this channel or the description below when the giveaway has been closed, and then I'll create a post announcing that a winner has been selected. Um, and so then please make sure to check that post so that you can hit me up and collect your earnings. Um, so yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for just following along. Thank you for subscribing and your support. Thank you for saying hi at these stationery and pen shows whenever you see me there. I've gotten comments after the shows are over saying like, "Oh, I saw you, but I was too shy to say hello." Please, I'm probably just as shy, but I'm always so thrilled to talk about stationery. So please come up to me, say hello, tell me who you are. I would love to get to meet you. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!